Welcome back to the Backlog Boys podcast. With you, as always, forevermore, me, the golden boy, Omar. Hey.
You say hey.
Yeah, I want to make sure people knew who my voice was.
Nice. Okay.
With me, as always, are my two epic co-hosts, Samuel.
Hey, what's up? I'm Dr. Michael Morbius. I'm here to suck your blood and any other fluids you may want to give me.
You know, you do kind of look like Jared Leto.
Thanks.
Hey, you look... I wasn't going to say what I was going to say. And the other co-host, Alexander.
Hey, what's up? Really excited to start talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Alex?
What?
What are you talking about?
That's what we had to watch for today, right?
Are you legally blind? Jojo Rabbit is the movie.
Are you for real?
Directed by Taki Waititi, by the way. Written also by Taki
Dude,
Waititi.
I'm in part 3 of JoJo. Are you kidding me?
Is that why you texted me? Man, what are these animals doing to this movie? Why are we fighting boats?
Yeah, I'm like, why are they licking cherries?
Why are these big muscular men in Germany?
You really should have checked in with us before getting to that far.
Oh God. Well, luckily I've seen Jojo Rabbit many times before, so
I guess it works out.
yeah.
Just in case you couldn't tell by our epic conversation we just had 2 seconds ago, we're watching
I'm watching Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit. Yes, directed by Taki Waititi. Also starring Taki Waititi. Written by Taki Waititi. Screenplay
I
Taki
wouldn't say
Waititi.
starring.
Well, he is one of the characters.
He is.
He plays an important character.
But he's not the star.
It's true. He's not JoJo, but he is someone that we'll talk about in 2 seconds. But Jojo Rabbit came out 2019. It's a pretty banger year for foreign movies if you think about it. Because when Parasite came out, and it beat out JoJo.
It's a good ass movie.
JoJo?
No, Parasite.
Oh.
Both. Yeah.
I gotcha. I got you to admit it. So Jojo Rabbit. Talk about a little money. Some little money facts because I love money.
Some moolah.
Yes.
As
The
they
budget of
say.
this movie, $14 million to make.
How much did it make back?
Before you answer that question, there's marketing budgets.
Uh-huh.
Technically, and this is for all movies, they never ever really reveal the marketing budget of it. But there's a kind of a fail-safe to calculate it, which is literally just double the budget of the movie. So in this instance, 14 million be 38. No, what the fuck?
It would be 28.
Oh shit! I think I did. Oh, I did it by 7. Well, I'm stupid. Anyways, yeah, it was 28 million. Would it be? But luckily, that shit fucking passed it by a mile. 90 million it made
Jesus.
in the
Okay.
box office.
That seems
33 million in the States, and then 57 million in basically every other country.
Jeez.
Good on them, I guess.
I don't know if you looked into it, but do you know if they did anything weird for the German version of this movie or something? Because I know they have a lot
Yeah.
of weird restrictions.
Any censorship?
I wish I did. I don't think I did.
Okay.
I don't remember reading anything about that.
Yeah.
I could. I'm pretty sure there might have been stuff.
I mean, they probably just didn't air it in Germany.
I think they still did.
They might have. I don't know.
Because isn't like World War II and the Holocaust kind of taboo over there?
I think specifically their role in it is
Yeah,
taboo.
what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they deny it. They're like, it never happened.
Yeah, but no, maybe that's something we'll look up later, and I'll throw something on screen, just like a simple yes or no. Like, was this censored? And then now you know. So
You're watching it right now if you're on YouTube.
yeah,
Not us though.
No,
we're
don't.
not on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're in my house.
yeah, his basement.
But anyways, back to Jojo Rabbit. So how was it?
I liked it.
It was good.
I was disappointed, but doesn't mean I think it was a bad movie.
Why
I still
were
think
you-
it was good,
Why were you disappointed?
but I thought it was gonna be better.
Okay.
I was let down.
Why?
I think the beginning got me excited, and after that, I got kind of fell down. But
Were you expecting like a serious? type
no.
movie?
I knew it was gonna be
Okay.
funny. I saw the trailer when it came out because I think Alex is the only one that watched it. This movie before.
Yes.
Me and Samuel have not.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember watching the trailers for it, and I wanted to watch it when I saw the trailers. But I don't know. I don't even know if it was like how many theaters even had it or not. I don't know if it was like a.
I think it was a big release. It wasn't.
Was it?
like-
Okay.
It wasn't a limited release.
So I have no idea why I'd never watched it. I guess it might have just passed by. But I knew it was gonna be like a comedy. Like just if you watch the trailer for it, you can easily tell
It's Taika Waititi.
yeah, it's also Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
And it's like what post Thor Ragnarok, so it's kind of like Yeah, he's a funny little boy.
He's a
That guy.
comedy genius.
He's a funny guy. Yes.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. When watching this movie, like I had a couple times where I had to laugh, like actually laugh out loud.
You had to force yourself. You said
No,
that. You're
no,
like,
no.
I had to actually laugh.
No,
Like, I wasn't programmed to laugh. But
Like I normally don't laugh during movies, but when that fucking grenade blew up in his face, I just
Before we talk more about the movie, let's summarize the movie real quick. So people who have not seen it know what the fuck we're actually kind of talking about real quick.
Sure.
The main character named Jojo. Is a little-
Johannes.
Yeah, it's his real name is Johannes. His character, everyone calls him Jojo.
He's a Nazi fanatic.
Yeah, little boy. He's in it's called like the Nazi camps, basically.
It's like a Hitler youth camp.
yeah, for youths.
Let's clarify. This movie takes place in Nazi
War II.
Germany. Like this isn't like modern times.
Yeah, no, this isn't like neo Nazis. I don't know if you can say that.
Yeah.
But this is like World War II, like tail end of World
They're
War
like
II.
being trained to be soldiers.
They're trained to like love Adolf.
Yeah.
And Nazis
But
and the Third Reich or whatever is how you pronounce that.
Yeah.
And it's basically that. It's him going through that, him being a fanatic, and finding a little something special in his attic. I wonder what it was.
A little.
A
I'm not
little
gonna.
present from his mom.
I'll let you guys say.
His mommy was like, "Little boy, you've done well. Here's a present in my room."
They find a little Jewish girl.
And that's the plot of the movie.
Yeah, the main crux of it is his conflict with.
Do I like her? Do I not? Is she the enemy? Is she not?
She's a
Yeah.
Jew. Why does he look like a Jew? Because they think Hitler, well, maybe him. Nazis think Jews are just some sort of freakanoid monsters.
Yeah, no. Like at some point, she starts describing her race, and she's like all talking like we're normal people. He's just like, stop the bullshit.
Yeah.
He's like, where are your horns? And we mentioned Taika Waititi because he plays a pretty big role in the
The big
aspect
man
of
himself.
he plays a man,
The man.
Don't call him
Adolf
dumb.
Hitler. But just in case you don't know, it's pretty obvious he's not real Adolf Hitler in the movie. Like he's an imagination of the boy Jojo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is Hitler.
He plays a very
He's real.
like,
He's not in his imagination.
We all know Hitler was a terrible person, but Taika Waititi plays him as like, how do I?
He's like a
do I wanna say?
comedic like friend to this kid. Well, because this kid has this perception of what Hitler would be
It's-
like, so he like creates this like friendly Barney version of Hitler essentially.
I always saw his imagination of that character as his belief in Hitler and like the Third Reich and the Nazis and shit.
Mhm.
So as long as he existed and how positive he was, that's what's like his faith
Mhm.
in the Hitler
Mhm.
was as long as he was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So every time he doubted himself, that's is when Hitler came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
To be like, hey man, the Nazis rule.
Check this out.
Check this fucking shit out, bro. Well, he kind of does say some shit like that.
Yeah, he said-
He
He's
does
all-
do some jokes.
Yeah, he just comes out.
A lot of it is very satirical, a lot of the comedy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like obvious jokes that they're making fun of Nazis. But I'm pretty sure real Nazis would never have done that. So like a lot of this is very like it's about the Nazis, but it's making fun of the Nazis.
Yeah.
But it's also informative because there's a lot of stuff that you would have never thought. Like the whole like little boy Nazi camp shit. I didn't know that was a real thing.
Oh, was that a real thing?
It
yeah,
was-
it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like them like collecting cans and shit for like medals to like help the war and stuff. Those are real things that like kids did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can
But-
we talk about the real star of the show? His fucking best friend, what's his name? Yoki?
Oh, Yoki.
Yorkie?
Yorkie.
I love Yorkie. He's such a nice little boy.
Yeah,
This is the
Yorkie.
best part of the movie.
I feel like they really just got a random kid and just made him act.
I think so.
I feel like he was not an actor.
he's a fucking good ass actor.
No,
then.
like everyone else in that movie is really great.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's bad. I wrote that in my notes. Like he's not bad. It's like he feels like he's really like just like every time he says shit to him, he's like, oh okay, like
there are scenes where when he's not talking where he's just kind of like standing
Looking
around
around, he's just, like-
aimlessly. Yeah.
he moves his head, he keeps looking.
But I think it really works in this kind of movie.
No, yeah.
Like if this was in something serious, it would definitely be like a turn off. But it's kind of like charming just having this random kid just be there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid, his friend Yorkie.
I really think he steals the show.
And he's not even in it that much.
He has some great one-liners.
Yeah.
A lot of his bits are just
the
like
comedic part of this movie really comes from either Hitler or Yorkie. Yorkie?
Yeah.
yeah, Yorkie.
Yeah.
And Sam Rockwell's character.
Yeah,
Um,
General. I had that
Captain Klesdorf.
Klesendorf.
Some of these names are really difficult to pronounce. I'm
We'll
not
just
gonna
call him
lie.
Mr. Rockwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just call him Rockwell. Sam Rockwell, the actor. He's
I
Yeah.
only seen him in Iron Man before this, so I really didn't think he made good movies.
yeah, he's in a wow. What a statement.
He's
He's a good-
mean, this
he's-
proved me wrong.
He's a good actor. I also don't think I've seen him in anything else except for Iron Man.
Yeah, which was really
I'm pretty
bad.
sure I've seen him in other stuff though. But he's a good actor. He's been in a lot of good movies.
Yeah, no.
There's movies I want to watch that he's in.
Yeah, I didn't realize I had seen him before, but overall, I really liked. I thought his character was kind of interesting. Of this like disgruntled ex, war hero who's just like, I gotta take care of these kids now.
I love his opening line. Or like when the enemy shows up, he's like, you might be asking yourself, why am I here and not leading my men to death in battle? And like no one asks anything, and he's like,
Yeah,
wow, let me tell you.
and then he's talking about how he's a cripple, and he's like, well, could a cripple do this? And he just starts blindly firing.
By cripple, he has one eye. He
Yeah.
lost an eye, so he can't. He's like, oh, they took me off because I have to use my two eyes to aim. And he's like, can a cripple do this? And he like shoots like no scope, fucking like in between his leg. That's what made me laugh the most, was probably that scene.
For sure.
Because the way it's cut, and he's like, wow, like just like hyping, and all the kids are like, yeah.
Was he the gay guy you guys were talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna bring that up later.
Yeah, because you were talking about how you liked his opening scene, but like I really liked his ending scene, and I just remembered.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
No, I'm saying that
he was very flamboyant during that.
Well, no, there are in the opening, not the opening scene, like the opening camp scene. It's Sam Rockwell, and then he has like two assistants that are named, which is Rebby Wilson, the lady, and then Alfie Ein. I hope I said his name right. He's in Game of Thrones. That's where I know him from.
Oh.
And he's in Predator, the new one, the one that wasn't good.
Okay.
But those are like his two like subordinates, and pretty like not that, but like later on in the movie, there's a lot of homosexual tension between Alf Ein's character and Sam Rockwell's character. And there are scenes where like he's feeding the guy shit before like they walk into the room, and he's like, "Oh, what's up?" Like he like throws the shit down or whatever.
Yeah.
There's scenes where like they look at each other and they don't say anything, and like you can kind of tell they're getting closer.
Like there's some definite
Sexual tension.
There's some tension for
I've
sure.
seen this movie 4 times. This was my first time realizing this.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, is he gay? And I was like, probably, maybe, I don't know. And then later on, I'm like, oh no, he's.
I'm sorry, Omar. I don't see gayness in people. I am not homophobic.
All right, now you're making it sound like I'm homophobic. Let's get the facts straight here, guys. I love gays,
Yeah,
because
you're gay.
but they don't love me.
no, they don't.
So that's the issue.
yeah.
That's my issue with
You're
them.
like the gay incel.
My life has just paid itself for this.
All right, let's get back on track. There's a very big elephant in the room of an actor we're not mentioning. But honestly, I don't think she plays a major factor to it. Scarlett Johansson.
Black Widow.
She's probably
herself.
the most big name actor
Yeah.
of the movie.
But
She plays the mom of Jojo.
yeah, and she does a fine job. She has like a German accent. It's fine. But I wasn't like, man, this shit, like, I have this problem with her and some other actors where I see them and I just see the actor. I don't see like the character they're trying to get into. It's like when I see Seth Rogen in a movie, I'm like, that's Seth Rogen. Like,
Yeah. He's not playing a character.
Exactly. So when I saw Scarlett Johansson, I was just like, oh, that's Scarlett Johansson. Like, she's not some German mom
Yeah,
from
she's
the
just
30s.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
I
but-
think I got sold in pretty like after maybe the opening scene with her. After a while, I'm like,
she was pretty good in the
nah, I
role.
like it. Especially with when because she's a single mom in the aspect of the father's out in war, so she's taking care of Jojo by himself. There's a scene where she has to like play the dad. I thought that was like
That was.
I thought that was kind of weird.
really, you know?
Yeah. I was just like, oh, okay.
I thought that was.
I thought she was having like a mental
She's
breakdown.
no.
Everyone's just insane in this world.
I thought the joke was gonna be like the husband was like her Hitler.
Uh-huh.
Like she sees the husband, but he's obviously not real.
Oh, that would be actually.
That's what I thought it was
interesting.
because he's talking to herself.
Yeah.
That's what Jojo does. He talks to himself technically because
Yeah.
anyone watching him, he's just talking to himself. Hitler's not there.
Yeah.
So I thought the mom was doing that too, where she's like talking to herself because we're seeing it through Jojo's eyes. He doesn't see it. So a lot of the movie is through Jojo's eyes. He's the main character. So a lot of like what I liked about it, it's like one, it shows Germany a different light because I was looking up something like what Taika Waititi was like trying to do for the movie, and he mentioned like a lot of like Germany and the World War II movies. They were like depressing looking, but it's like no, in real life it was very like bright and colorful, like all the clothes they wear, like all that shit. Like they weren't like wearing like brown black clothes all day. Like Jojo wears like some green pajamas with his mom. They wear like matching pajamas. I thought it was so cute.
Yeah.
Like you button like colorful button up shirts, and like all the other scenes were like in the woods. Like they're all bright. They're not dark. They're not gray. Like they're all very bright because it's through a kid's eyes. The way he sees this world is perfect because that's what he thinks it's real. He thinks the Nazis are correct. So everything he sees is like good. The same way how we see our world. Like, oh, this is like, like our country is great because it's like, oh, this or whatever. And for him, it's the exact same way because he doesn't know anything else. And especially with the Nazis where they kind of just brainwash these kids. Because they mentioned that in the movie where before he wasn't like that as much. He didn't know anything about the Nazis. But the second they got him, like he's just 100% like a Nazi fan, a Hitler fan.
Yeah.
He has Hitler pictures in his mirrors and shit like that. But I think that's what like the viewpoint of a child.
Yeah.
Where like it's more colorful. A lot of like the darker stuff are not as dark because it's through his eyes and he doesn't really understand some of the scenes or whatever.
I mean, throughout the movie, you also see him grow up as a character.
Yeah.
And they show that by the fact that towards the beginning of the movie, he can't tie his shoe. And at the end of the movie, he ties
someone else's shoes.
Yeah, he ties the girl that he fell in love with shoes, and she just so happens to be a Jew, which is what he hated at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I think we haven't mentioned her at all.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Jew
We should
girl.
probably talk about. I think her character's name was Elsa.
Elsa.
Yeah.
And I thought she was really good actually. Like,
I mean, she did okay.
Yeah, she was really good. I like her. Her going from like pure hostile to like slowly opening up to him was nice.
Well, I think it's established that she was humoring him from the beginning because when he
in
came,
the beginning, he was like, "I'm gonna kill you."
yeah, well, not
Like,
the
he threatened to
beginning,
kill, and he stole his knife.
but like
yeah,
Sue, like probably that like the next scene after is when he comes with the fake letter, right? And you find out she's humoring him because he actually
she knows more
Yeah.
about that situation.
Yeah.
And she's
because
like,
again, it's like Jojo's a kid, so with his eyes, he thinks he's doing like.
he thinks he's fooling.
Yeah, he thinks he's like he's winning, like this like
Yeah.
his standoff between her and him.
But she's a couple years older than him, so
She's
able to-
she's 17
okay.
because later on in the movie they talk about that.
Okay.
They don't flat out say, but I think math wise, I think she's like 17.
Yeah.
And Jojo's 10.
Yeah.
He's 7 years younger than her.
Which I really appreciated that this movie doesn't turn into the whole like boy meets girl and then they fall in love kind of thing. Like they do end up loving each other, but it's not in like a romantic way.
Well, she does it. He does.
it's more like a brotherly.
He loves
sister.
her in a romantic
Well, he
way.
accepted it.
She does.
He
doesn't.
accepts it at that it's more brother sister.
Well, at the end,
Yeah.
but like throughout the movie, like
through the movie he
yeah,
wants it to
he-
do that, but
he calls her his girlfriend at some point.
yeah,
Yeah.
to Yorkie I think he
yeah,
tells her.
he's like, I have a girlfriend. I'm like, oh, good for you, Jojo.
She's like in my.
He's like, you know that
attic, though.
Jew girl that I have?
Yeah.
She's my girlfriend. He's like, good for you, Jojo.
Yeah. I'm
He's like, where's the
telling
homie? Because like he didn't care that he has a Jew in his house. He was just like, good on you, man. You got a girlfriend.
Yeah, no, he Jojo he states the fact that he's Jewish, and Yorkie's just like, there's a lot of more things to be worried about than being Jewish.
Like the Russians.
The Russians are like right up the street.
Yeah, there's like scenes like that where like they're making these kids believe like the Jews are like have their brains, they can read minds, they can mind control, they're all connected to like a hive mind.
Yeah.
They got horns. They're
So
like monsters basically.
it's not even Jews. Like I think Yorkie says a line.
well,
about,
yeah, later on, like, because they make the
Yeah.
Jews like some monsters, so they
Yeah.
get to kill them. And then later on, Yorkie's like, oh, the Russians fuck dogs.
Yeah.
And like, I eat something or whatever. And the English like do other weird
They're like
shit.
cannibals or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Like, they make them believe that like the enemy are just like
Yeah.
disgusting humans so they can kill them.
And that's when the Russians are attacking. So he's like, we can't let the Russians come and fuck our dog.
Yeah, he's like, what are our dogs, man? So like, and I in the beginning, I was like, do they actually all believe that? And midway through, I thought they didn't.
Mhm.
But then I kind of later at the end, they do.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do, but there's certain people
Like Sam
who don't.
Rockwell's character, he's obviously he knows this is bullshit.
Yeah,
like all the Jewish like monster stuff is like because every time JoJo talks to him, he's like, oh really? Like
Yeah, he's just kind of humoring him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
like he's a
yeah.
kid. we can get into like spoilers so in this part now, so we can kind of talk a little bit more about Sam Rockwell's character.
He knew.
So what?
He knew that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the. Well, okay. Well, before we go to the spoilers, just in case something in my hair, we go back. Let's say, what'd you think?
Oh, I thought it was a really good movie, but there were parts where I felt kind of like weirdly not conflicted, but I felt like it was tonally weird.
The ending.
Yeah, there's a huge part in the ending where it like plays some things off comedically, but it's like definitely not funny. Like they're it's kind of like dark what they're joking about, but I guess that's where the humor is. But overall, like it was pretty good. I liked it.
I really like the movie. Like I said, I've seen it a couple of times, and every time we get to that last scene, it hurts to look at. It's just the dancing scene. It's I don't know. It's just so out of place.
That is really weird.
Yeah.
I think for me, I think I mentioned earlier, I was disappointed, but that doesn't mean I didn't like the movie. I did like the movie. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
I was disappointed. I think at like the midway point, I got bored. I was like already kind of like, I don't like, can we hurry up? Like I was pretty out of it midway in.
Before or after he?
After, like, basically the whole time was with Elsa.
Also after he
like,
tries
that
to
kind of that stuff.
tie his mom's shoes.
Yeah, like all that stuff.
Okay.
Like before that scene, and like from when he meets Elsa to before he has to tie his mom's shoes, I was just like,
Whatever.
yeah, I was just like, this is a dip to me. Like I was kind of like, can we hurry up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of boring. Like there were funny bits, like Hitler throughout the whole movie. I feel weird saying that. It was funny. And he kind of like every time he came, I'm like, oh, okay. Like I kind of like got back into it. And every time Rockwell came back in, I got into it again.
Yeah.
But it was just JoJo and Elsa. I was kind of like, I didn't care as much. I still liked it. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
But the kid who played JoJo, what a great actor.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
a kid. He did a lot of. He did
Has he
really
done
well.
anything since?
I think I looked it up. I think he did like one other thing so far, but he's like 15, so
Yeah.
like, he still has time to
Yeah.
make other movies.
Yes, potential.
Yeah, and I think the girl who played Elsa. She was in a Edgar Wright movie.
Oh yeah, I think it was like last night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think she's also like a young. She's not that old.
That's fine. They got time.
But that's our thoughts for the non-spoiler section. Now we will enter the spoilers, and now the epic spoiler. I want to mention the first thing I want to mention is the tying the shoes thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna write it and I didn't. I'm like, oh, is there a foot fetish? There's a lot of scenes with Jonah. What the fuck?
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. Sorry, I was gonna call her Joanna. Scarlett Johansson. There's a couple of shots with her feet,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's weird. But then you learn why.
Yeah.
Because you learn that his mom is like anti-Nazi basically. Like she's trying to help stop the war.
She's with the resistance.
Yeah, the resistance, and she gets hung.
Yeah.
And when you know that, it's because he's walking.
Foreshadowing.
He sees her shoes,
Yeah.
and you know her shoes because you've seen the shot so many times with just. She wears the same shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you realize you never see her face when she's hung. There's a one zoom out shot,
Yeah.
but you never see her face.
You
Yeah.
see his reaction.
You only
to
see
her.
his reaction and him for his height, which again, because he's a kid,
Yeah.
it's his height level, which is basically her feet where she's hung from.
Yeah.
Were you expecting that?
No, that one came out of nowhere for
It
me.
made
Yeah.
sense though, because why would
It made
those
sense.
German dudes came to look for him because they already caught his mom.
Yeah.
That's
But-
why. But they
but-
don't say that.
yeah.
You only find that out after that she died.
But I think the first time watching it, that took me completely by shock.
Yeah, when I saw her feet, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of nice that they kind of did it all off screen, you know?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this is about JoJo's story, and it'd be kind of weird, like, they just show this really heavy scene of her getting captured and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
Like,
hung.
it definitely would have killed the vibe, I feel.
Like, the last time you see her is when JoJo finds out.
And we also don't know, like, we know she was like putting up propaganda, but we don't know what else. Like,
Yeah, she could have been doing.
yeah,
Because he finds her doing that, like dropping propaganda, like
Anti-war
papers.
stuff, yeah.
which like everything we see is what JoJo sees. If JoJo didn't see it, we have no idea what happened.
Because earlier in the movie they show other people being hung, and it's in German and they don't translate it. So you don't know what it says at the time, unless you speak German or you looked it up. And then JoJo's like, "Oh, what'd they do?" And then the mom is like, "Oh, they did what they could." So you like at the time you don't really know that she means like she was supporting those. Like those are her friends probably.
Yeah.
because they're in resistance as well. So that's why she doesn't really like, go like, oh, they were like anti. Like she doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
She tries to like shelter Jojo as much as she can because the less he knows, and if they ever get captured, which what happened, he won't know anything. So nothing happened. But sadly, she didn't know that Jojo already knew about the Jewish girl.
Yeah.
So the whole point was that she wanted to make sure Jojo didn't know, but obviously he found out.
Yeah.
And he never told her because he was scared.
That scene when the Gestapo showed up, though, was really like, it was really intense. Like I wasn't expecting it to be like that. The actor who plays the lead SS officer, I don't know his name.
Stephen Merchant.
Yeah.
I love him. He's a great actor.
He seems
He's in
familiar.
Logan.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was in Logan. And he's a comedic actor, which was funny.
Okay.
But because he does stuff with that what's his name? Ricky Gervais. They had a show, like a comedy show, like in England or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, it was like a comedy show.
Oh.
It was them like I think it was like them being them or something like that.
Well, for a comedic actor, he was very intimidating in that
Yeah,
scene.
he's his smile. I wrote that down. His smile is creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
because he could smile like super wide, which is like gross as hell.
Yeah.
I mean,
And he's tall as fuck.
even though that scene was very intense, it was also meant like they were trying to make it more comedic with
Oh, yeah.
Because every time you greet someone, you go "Hail Hitler,"
and
so every time like there's like 5 of them.
Yeah.
So once one says, you have to say it to every single one of them. And, like,
Yeah.
every time a new person introduced, "Oh, Hail Hitler, Hail Hitler," like they keep going and going.
I don't know. It felt like the joke was getting a little stale, and then Sam Rockwell came in and kept it going.
I thought it was still at the end when his subordinate came in.
Yeah.
No, not the Elsa part. I thought the Elsa part was fine because
I think
that
that's-
was like serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like before that, when like, after Sam Rockwell, Alpha Ein's character,
Oh, okay.
when he does it, I'm like, oh, we can do it again now. But it went a little faster, but still,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, steady on. But that scene, yeah, where they're like, oh, hey, we're the Gustafos or whatever. I think I wrote it down.
It's the Gestapo. The
Yeah,
SS.
Gestapo, the Gestapo. And he's like, lovely day. And he doesn't respond. He's like, can we come in? And he doesn't respond. And he's like, thank you. And then he just goes in anyway. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't give a fuck. And then he just ransack his whole fucking house. And at the time, you don't know his mom's already dead and was caught. So you're like, oh, I wonder how they know. Like at the time when you're watching, you don't know why they're here. And they're like, oh, they're asking him questions. But again, he doesn't know that his mom. Well, he just knew, but he doesn't know anything enough.
Yeah.
And obviously he's not going to sell out his mom. Because Sam Rockwell early in the movie tells him they'll kill anyone who hides a Jew, anyone related to them, and then some random people because they're fucking paranoid or whatever.
That's
Yeah.
more evidence that Sam Rockwell's character knew, because he goes to check up on Jojo.
Yeah, he shows up
He showed
yeah.
mid search.
In
And he's
a-
like, "Hey, Jojo!"
in a bike,
like, smacks
so
the door.
He was in a hurry.
yeah. So he knew already that what was going down,
Yeah.
and he helps Jojo.
He might be. He honestly might be part of the resistance.
I don't
too.
think he is.
You don't think so?
I think he just understands, realizing it. He's realizing that Nazis are wrong.
Okay.
Because he's the one who makes fun of them. Remember?
Yeah.
In the camp, he's like, "Oh, I forgot what he says, but he makes a joke that like."
Well, it's like something about, we're training up these soldiers, but even though we're kind of
Yeah, we're losing in the war, blah blah. But it's okay though.
Yeah.
like, they tell us it's okay. So
It's fine.
like I think he kind of in when like he's pretty not like he doesn't want to like he's already like he knows we're in a losing war and they're wrong.
Yeah.
I think he gets that.
I think so. I didn't make that connection. I honestly just thought he just showed up out of coincidence, but
Oh,
now
I
it makes sense.
I
Like, he
just
never
made-
went to go check
I
up on
just
Jojo.
made
Yeah, that, I knew that because the way he walks in, he like walks in like running, like
Yeah.
he smashes in like with his bike,
Yeah.
and like he's not that surprised when he sees them. He's like, "Hey, Jojo," and he's talking to him really fast, and he's like, "Oh, hey," and then like,
Yeah,
he's
what's
like,
up?
Hitler, and then the Hitler shit,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "Oh, I check on Jojo." Like he says like it's natural, but he doesn't. He never done that before.
Yeah, you're right.
Never checked someone in his house.
Yeah.
So it's like the one time he did is when those guys show. So he must have known already
Yeah. No. I didn't make that connection.
because
I literally just made it.
Wow.
the fact that Elsa came out, pretended to be the sister.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was gonna happen.
I didn't think
thought
so
she was gonna
either.
be hidden forever,
I thought so too.
and then she got on the sister, and I was like, oh, like this is gonna be even more stressful, isn't it?
yeah.
Especially with Sam Rockwell's character because he's there, and at that time I was like, I was getting confused because he makes a face because he knows Jojo is the only kid now. He knows Elsa. I don't know if he knows Elsa's dead or even knows who that is. Not Elsa.
I feel like he.
Ingress or Inglis, the sister, Jojo's sister's name.
Yeah.
Him and Jojo's mom were kind of close, weren't they? There was a scene when in the swimming pool she goes up to talk to him, and she also entrusted Jojo to him, making sure that he's safe.
I was confused, and what you're saying might make more sense, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why is she like is she like famous?
No, I
I
just
don't know.
Because the way they kind of talk about her sometimes made it seem like she's like famous.
maybe
And he kicks Sam Rockwell's in the dick,
No, she
Maybe-
does kick him in
and
the
like
nuts.
she's technically assaulting an officer, and like
maybe
it's like
he's
okay.
Jojo's dad.
No,
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think just might be the kind of thing where she's like a well-known
Or-
lady in town or
okay.
something, and they're like, "Don't mess with that lady."
And because they know Jojo's dad somehow.
Yeah.
Some of the other like the kids, they know his dad. Someone like, oh, his dad has never responded to you in 2 years. Like, how do they know that?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
So I don't know if his like family's famous or
He probably
something.
goes around like telling people.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That was the only
kid.
weird thing. I was like, why is she like so like why is she so well known?
Yeah.
She seems like
Well,
she's like a regular girl,
it's
a
more like-
woman. I guess.
Her and Sam Rockwell's character knew each other. Like
Maybe
personally.
that's what it was. Because there are
Probably,
scenes where they do talk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think when you mentioned the swimming pool, it's good. It's well shot because it's like you actually don't see her
It's
talk
in
to
the
him.
background.
It's through like in the back,
Yeah.
and you can see it because it's through his eyes, and he's not gonna look at it. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Jojo doesn't care, but you can see enough that like the audience is like, oh, they're talking.
Yeah.
They're obviously.
So I was like, who is she talking to? And then later on, you see it's Sam Rockwell's character because they're both wearing like him and Alpha are wearing
and
like
Jojo goes up to talk to him.
yeah, he's wearing like a weird like one piece swimsuit
Yeah.
or whatever.
Really quickly though, I want to talk about my favorite like shot from that movie. It's right after it's like Elsa and Jojo are talking just generally about that Jewish book he's making.
Outside.
What is it?
And then she-
Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, the Yoo-Hoo Jude or
Yoo-hoo
something like
Jews.
that.
I hope we're not saying
I don't
anything
know.
offensive.
We're
If
saying
we-
everything in the context.
I
of
know in the
though.
movie. So again, when I say like Jew girl and all that, like we that's what she is. Like we're not saying it in an offensive way.
That's what Jojo calls her.
Yeah, he like
Yeah.
a lot of the characters call her that.
But she's like looking at herself in the mirror and comments about how dirty she is. So then like Jojo lets her take a bath, and it shows him like kind of like outside, like quivering, like kind of nervous about her like being naked near him. And then it like pans down to his stomach, and then it like superimposes this image of butterflies over his like belly.
Yeah, because early in the movie, his mom was like, "Love is it's like you have butterflies in your stomach." So.
Yeah, and I was like, that just looked really good to me. I was like, holy shit! Like, I wouldn't think to just put an image on top of it, but it looks really nice actually. Like,
Yeah, I kind of remember like a SpongeBob bit.
yeah,
Kind of like superimposed like this real life picture on this animated thing.
Yeah.
And this one's like it's obviously still real life, but it's still jarring to see like just picture this picture of butterflies. Oh, it's like almost like a
it's like a
gif
like
of the
video,
butterflies.
Yeah.
of-
I mean,
on his
then
stomach.
again, it's from his perspective.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a
yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
So
I still think that
makes
Sam
sense.
Rockwell with the gun is like
At the
one of my
end,
favorites.
he shows up with the.
yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But like I mean like the beginning when the kid,
Oh,
when he's
he's
like
just
get a
shooting-
gun,
oh.
here, come on, dude. This is so funny to me. It was one of the funniest scenes. I was like, I love his
There's one where
character.
he reaches over his
Yeah,
leg.
he puts it under his leg and starts shooting for no reason. And they're like, what?
Yeah, that was really good.
Oh, the bit. I was surprised there were girls there because I was like, why are there women? He's like, boys
get
and girls.
pregnant.
And then later on, he's like, and the women will make beds and prepare to make babies.
Yeah.
And Rebel was like, I made 18 babies for Germany. What a great year to be a woman or something like that.
Honestly, I wasn't crazy about Rebel Wilson's character. I was just like,
Acting wise,
you're
or just her
here.
character in general?
Just in general, I was like, you're here.
She wasn't into that much, so I wasn't affected by it. But
Yeah.
she's like also just a pure like Nazi. Like she's no doubt in her.
For sure, she was totally believing everything that they were saying, and
There's a bit. Sorry, there's a bit where Scarlett Johansson's like, oh, what can my son do? And she's like, oh, can you deliver these things? And she's like, oh yeah, let's give him a gun as well. And she literally points the gun.
yeah,
And I'm like, you're so dangerous. Like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, you should never point at someone with their gun. And then one mom's like, stop. Like no, they'll put the gun away. She's like, okay, and like puts it back under her like her skirt or whatever.
yeah.
Like she's dumb
Mhm.
because she believes that like her uncle was mind controlled by a Jew. But in reality, he's just a terror. He's like, oh, he's an ad. It was he got
It was like a
alcoholic, gambler. Did stuff to his like his sister
Yeah, like cheated
Her
on his
sister.
wife with her sister.
with her like with Rebel Wilson's sister's character.
Yeah.
And then like he's like, oh, but it was a Jew. He's like, oh, he drowned. Unrelated to everything I just said.
Yeah.
But it was because the micro that control the Jews.
Yeah.
So like that's how like warped their minds are.
For
They're
sure.
led to believe that these Jews are just like terrible people. I didn't get why Elsa kept feeding to his delusions,
I think she was just like,
teasing him or like making fun. of
no,
him.
she was
Making
just
fun of
like,
him.
oh, he's a kid, like, you know, like
She wasn't gonna believe it.
She even mentioned that she knew him when he was way younger because she was friends with
I didn't believe.
his
Is that
sister.
real?
I believe that.
I was wondering if that was another lie.
No, I mean she's only 7 years older, so
yeah.
maybe she was around when he was like a baby. You
Why,
know?
why else would her mom risk it?
Yeah.
I thought because they mentioned later on where like she was passed around, so like maybe they're like all the resistance, like, hey, can you hold her?
I mean,
Can you take care of her for a while? And like oh, after like, oh, I'm
I mean-
compromised. You have to take her now?
She knew the like Well, she didn't know the exact
Their
date of
birthday.
the birthday, but she was like
Close.
a couple
She was
days
off. She was off. Maybe because like the 1 and 7 don't look
Yeah.
that different.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in German. I don't know if it like, looks different or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, some of the other notes I was gonna bring up was I love how they like they keep calling themselves Nazis all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's so weird. And it's kind of funny though. Like we're never like we don't call ourselves Americans. We don't call ourselves like Democratic or Republic. We don't call ourselves by our party or whatever. But they're always like, yeah, we're Nazi. Like they always are like, yeah, I'm a Nazi boy and like,
Yeah.
oh, we do Nazi things.
She
and blah, blah,
corrected
like,
him at one point. She's like, "You're not a Nazi."
yeah, and he's like, I'm a Nazi.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. Like I always see like they keep calling themselves Nazis. But I don't know, the funny bit was because he writes letters because she has a fake. She does have a boyfriend, but he's already dead. But Joe doesn't know that.
Yeah, he thinks he's alive and he's writing fake letters.
He writes fake letters for her. And I thought, well, funny insult because he makes it seem like that he's so she can break up with him and like forget about him to make her feel sad. I thought it was funny because he writes a mean letter and then he like immediately felt bad and he wrote like a better letter, but then in the end he still's like, I'm still fat. And I was hoping he's like, and I'm still a Jew. Like, this is the worst thing that you could possibly be.
yeah.
Like, just keep bringing him down. I thought that would have been perfect if he said, I'm still a Jew.
That would have been interesting.
Because then, like, she would have been like, she would have laughed more. She's like, oh, okay, this kid's just like
just messing around.
Yeah.
Speaking of funny bits, I actually wrote down my favorite line. It's Yorkie says it right after that big final battle.
Of course, it's
and he's
Yorkie.
like, it seems that I can never die.
Yeah, he mentions it. Like, oh, I guess I could never die.
And then he's like, I'm gonna go home and see my mom. I need a cuddle.
And then he's also like, this is a bad time to be a Nazi.
Yeah. Yorkie is just my favorite character.
I mean, this
honestly.
dude fucking survived the whole war in a fucking outfit that was made out of paper.
Yeah.
Paper-like, as he says.
Because when you meet him, like when the battle happens, his his uniform's all jacked up. Like there's a hole in the back. And he's just bleeding and stuff.
It's fucking paper.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's been through battles or whatever.
Yeah, but he's fine. He just can't.
Yeah,
die.
he's just like, yeah. That's the scene where he's like, I have a girlfriend. He's like, good on you, Jojo.
Yeah.
Like he's already like chill about it.
Yeah, I love that kid, man.
I'm
He's
telling you,
good.
he steals the show.
I think one of the other funny bits was with Hitler, because there's a part when he's in the camp. Jojo's in the camp. We didn't even mention the big point where what happens to Jojo in the camp.
I did.
Well, I know, but we didn't talk about it, which probably should have been more right now. But he's in the camp because he's super excited to be in this. It's like a 2-day camp. It's not even that long. And he goes in the camp, but like he's super into it, but he can't kill. Like he's not like super into that because there's a scene where like you have to kill a rabbit and he can't do it. He tries to make the rabbit run, but then like the older like Nazi kids just kill the rabbit and they just beat the shit out of Jojo and they harass him for not killing a rabbit. And then he has to talk with Hitler. And there's a scene where he's like, oh, like people call you a coward. People thought I was a coward. People thought I was crazy. They said you're gonna kill everyone. You're doing wrong things. And then he looks at him like a shrug, like, look at me now. I laughed so hard. That was so funny when he was like, look at me.
I don't know. Like the scene right after that's probably my favorite.
He's just running through the
He's
field.
running through the forest,
field.
grabs the grenade, tosses it, bounces off a tree, and it just
It goes right back at him, and so the grenade is point blank explodes on him.
Yeah, and somehow he
you
survived.
see his body fly.
And you see his
off.
body, because I was like, oh, maybe he's not that close. No, you see his body like fly.
Yeah,
I thought the CGI when they threw it was pretty iffy. Like there's a shot where it's in the air. It looks like
a little weird.
that's the only iffy like CGI
Yeah.
shot probably. But
I don't know. I thought it was too fucking funny.
I think I'm like, yo, this kid's also unkillable. Because he got grenaded, and the worst thing he got were like a little like lines on his face.
Yeah.
Because he's not allowed to join the camp anymore because his leg is fucked up now.
He's a cripple now.
He's basically a cripple.
That's what he said.
Yeah, so like he's not allowed. He's out of the camp, and that's when he ends up meeting Elsa.
It's a 2-day camp, right?
Yeah, it's literally just 2 days.
I find it funny how after 2 days they're immediately sent into war.
Yeah, they're already like going out of combat or whatever, and like they're super and they're into it. Like all of them are happy to be in it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I thought that was interesting because I remember I watched Band of Brothers. It's an HBO series about the Pacific War. I don't remember which war. Sorry.
Was the war in Japan and all that?
Was it Korea? Either it was Korea or another like Asian country.
Okay.
But anyway, that's not important. I watched the behind the scenes of them interviewing the real life people, and they were talking about like people when the draft happened, people who weren't drafted, they would kill themselves because they wanted to go to war and defend the country, and they were depressed that they weren't like, or people who couldn't meet like the criteria, they would just be depressed because they were just like, we have to, like they thought it was wrong that they didn't go to go defend their country. Like people were like lining up to be like, I want to be drafted, I want to go in, and blah blah blah. Like, and the airborne was invented during this time period. Airborne units are like the people who jump out of the planes. That's the airborne unit, and it was invented during that time. And they were like, "Oh, are you all you people who are like gonna join?" They were like, "Who wants to join the airborne?" And they're like, "Well, what do we do?" It's like, "Oh, we're gonna jump out of planes." And none of them are like, "No, fuck that." They're like, "Oh, but you get $200 more." And they were like, "Oh, we're in."
Yeah.
Like they like they didn't like view it as like we're gonna die, and in a bad way. They were like, we're defending our country, and for some of them, we're gonna get paid for it.
Yeah.
And that for them, that's all they need. So these Nazis, when they're like in these camps, they're all like, one of them drive away when they're making fun of Jojo. He's like, "I'm going to war!" Like he's super happy about it because that's where they're led to believe. They're like so pro their own country, and specifically the Nazis, that they want to do it. But then later on in the movie, you see shots of some of the, not the same soldiers, but soldiers coming back all fucked up and like depressed looking, as you kind of realize like, oh, this is like fucked. Like Jojo, he's like, this maybe it's like not as good or whatever. Like look how fucked up these guys. Look how depressed they look. They're not happy that they're injured for their country. Like they're all like just down. Like they only laugh because the mom is like, "Welcome back, boys," or something. Like hug your mom or something like that. And some of them smile. Yeah. But other than that, it's like you kind of realize like how fucked like the war aspect of it is. Yeah. So again, a kid wouldn't know. Yeah. How fucked up a war is because they're kids. They wouldn't know.
Because the kids not really thinking about that.
That's why he like conflicts with Elsa because she's like she's all the shit she's seen, all like the terrible things that happen to the Jews. He can't relate. He doesn't understand like anything she's talking about. Yeah, he just sees them as them being like creatures basically.
Well, also he's not aware of that because there's a point. It's kind of played out for jokes, but Yorkie's like when Yorkie tells Jojo, "Hey, like Hitler killed himself," like Yorkie goes, "Yeah, turns out we were doing some pretty messed up stuff." Yeah. And it's like they just kind of gloss over that, but it's like it's kind of serious what he's talking about.
Yeah. And then when Hitler comes back, he has a gunshot wound in his head or whatever.
He does.
That fucking kick Jojo does to him.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna kick him. I felt it in my head. Like, he's gonna have to kick him.
That strong ass kick launched him out the fucking window.
Booster died his ass out of the room.
That was great.
Well, it's also his imagination, so it's not really him doing anything.
For sure, yeah.
But the whole like as the movie goes on, Hitler's in it less because Jojo slowly like stops being worshiping Hitler and the Nazis and the Third Reich and all that. Like he's more believing in Elsa and like this other. Like maybe we are doing wrong. Yeah. If we're killing Elsa and her people, and Elsa's like a good person, then imagine her whole like race. Mm-hmm. So he's like kind of beginning to realize like maybe this is wrong, and it's a lot for like a 10-year-old kid. For sure. It's like imagine like Spider-Man was like actually a Nazi for us, like in our environment. Like we would be like, fuck, like we would be as children. We would be hard to believe.
Captain America was a Nazi.
Well, no, I know, but I'm saying like for real.
Us, like we looked up to Spider-Man the character. Yeah. Okay. So then we're like, yo, like what?
Like, yeah, we would be devastated or whatever.
For sure, yeah.
I think we mentioned Sam Rockwell flamboyancy. Yeah. Kind of like I think halfway in, he draws a uniform for himself, which is just like it looks like a band. Like a band uniform, like a feather hat, with tassels, a cape. Was it a gun with a radio on it to annoy? Like I'm playing music to annoy the enemy. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this guy's like he's gay.
I'm so mad. I just noticed that.
And then when the battle happens in their home country or state,
he's wearing the uniform.
He wears that uniform, and I thought he was gonna die right there. I genuinely thought he was gonna get shot.
Almost. He couldn't get the radio on the gun.
So
there's a guy behind him with the radio.
Alfine, Theon from Game of Thrones. He's there, and he shoots in the sky for no reason. He's like pew pew pew. Like he's shooting nothing. Like there's nothing up there, but he's just still shooting for shit. I thought he was gonna die there. I thought he was gonna get shot like right then and there.
I thought so too.
And I thought Yorkie died.
He does eventually.
Spoiler. No, spoiler on the part. Because he meets Yorkie during that part, and then there's the Rebel Wilson's character. Yeah, that part was so fucked up. Where there's like so she's with the kids, and she like pulls the grenade and gives it to the kid, and he's like, "Go hug that." Go hug the American soldier. Yeah. Go suicide bomb them basically. Yeah, and she's Yorkie like gives them like, go fight. Sees Jojo and like go.
Like, where's your
she's like giving guns to people.
Yeah, to the kids. Like, go fight them or whatever. And then she gets blown up. Yeah. Like, immediately after that. And I thought Yorkie died because he was in that shot. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was weird because there's a massive explosion where she goes. Yeah. Jojo walks into that scene and there's still people there. So I'm like, how big was that explosion? Because there's still dudes like right there.
Yeah, it's probably just a targeted.
Maybe like a mine.
Maybe
I
they're
don't
like
know.
Yorkie and they're unkillable.
Yeah, Yorkie, he didn't die.
Yeah.
Well, Rebel Wilson just explodes. We don't see it, but she just explodes.
I'm pretty sure she dies.
Yeah, no, she's dead. But like, you don't see her like explode, like her body parts flying. Or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, that would have been a little much.
And then obviously America wins. This isn't like a twist. This is real. Like,
This isn't
what happened.
Mhm.
They win, and because Jojo has a Nazi jacket on, because Rebel Wilson gave it to him, because like, oh, you have to wear your uniform.
Yeah.
They think he's like a Nazi, so they're gonna go kill him.
Yeah.
They put him with all the other Nazis, and they mention like, oh, it's like hysteria, like because they don't care if they're kids, like they're gonna kill those Nazis or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a
And
scene
then-
in Saving Private Ryan, where they captured a bunch of Nazis, and they have no, they're like their hands up, they're like, giving up, and then like they're talking, they're trying to speak to the Americans, and you don't give subtitles, you don't know what they're saying, but you're assuming they're saying we surrender,
Yeah.
and they're like, what'd you say, and they just gun them down, and he was like, I think he said he surrendered, like they like murder them, like
Yeah.
they torture these people,
Well, that's what happens at the end.
like it's like
Yeah.
that's what happens, and like shit like that, where like it doesn't matter if like you're a human, like we at this point we like you're the enemy, we're gonna like murder you.
Yeah.
Especially with the Nazis, the fucked up shit
I mean,
they did.
Jojo would have been dead if it wasn't for Sam Rockwell.
Because Sam Rockwell's character, he does live the initial fight.
Yeah.
He gets captured. You assume Theon's Alphine character, his sidekick,
He's not
gay
there
lover.
anymore.
I assume he's dead already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not there anymore. And which poor Sam Rockwell. And he's with him one more time. And he's like, oh, you look like, oh, how are you? And like, I'm sorry about your mom.
Yeah.
And blah blah. And he's like, I think he's realizing like
They're gonna kill
they're,
Jojo.
like Jojo's realizing that they're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, what's going on? He's like, oh, it's hysteria. Like they're gonna kill. Like he doesn't say they're gonna kill us all, but he's like,
Yeah, so
they're-
Sam
they're-
Rockwell does what
what a
any hero would do
he rips off the Nazi jacket.
and beats him up, calls him a
We
Jew.
just beat him up. Okay, don't make it,
He
he
slaps
like
him.
pushes him,
He slaps him.
and then he yells at him. He's like, "Oh, you Jew, you Jew!"
Yeah.
And then he's like, "What?" Like Joe doesn't get it that he's trying to help. And like the I don't know if they're Americans, the soldiers there, because now it was like Russians, Americans, a bunch of like people show
the
up.
Allied forces.
But an Allied force soldier shows up. He's like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah.
And then the Sam Rockwell's like, "Oh, get the Jew away from me."
yeah.
And then like Jojo's like kind of like trying to like what? Like
He's
no.
like-
He's like, "Do you know him?" And he's like, "Yes." Jojo says yes. But then Sam was like, "No, I don't know that Jew. Get him away from me."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, they slapped the shit out of Sam
Yeah.
Rockwell. It's like, you Nazi."
Yeah.
And they grab Jojo to take him away. And then you just see Sam Rockwell getting dragged. And he smiles at him one last time. I was like,
And Jojo's like
he's trying to he's like, "No, stop,
he's trying to stop until he hears the gunshots.
he hears all the gunshots, and then
runs.
he knows that he's dead.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
died. And then he goes back to see Elsa. Well, before he sees Elsa, he sees Yorkie
He
one more
sees
time.
the unkillable Yorkie.
Yeah, he's with no shirt on. He's his little muscle shirt on.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Jojo." Oh, when he sees him with the rocket launcher.
Oh yeah.
Where like he's Yorkie and like another kid's like carrying like a rocket launcher, and Jojo's like, Yorkie's like, Jojo, and he drops the rocket launcher,
Hey,
fucking launches and blows up a building. He's like, oops. That shit was so funny.
All right, guys. So Jojo's like, it was a good movie. We all agree it's a good movie. Would you guys recommend it though? Because I would 100% recommend. I think this was your list, not my list, but
Yeah, it was mine.
yeah. If I hadn't seen it, I would recommend it. I still recommend it.
I would recommend it to people my age. I remember hearing somebody say that this was like a good feel-good movie for the family, and I'm like, I don't know about that. It's a little weird, but
I watched it with my sister, so
I mean, you could probably watch it with like. It's not like an Aladdin type movie, that's
No.
for sure.
Yeah, no, it's not like a E for everyone.
Yeah, but it was good. Like I enjoyed it.
I definitely enjoyed it. I would recommend it. I'm not saying it. I would not recommend
there's
it.
parts you didn't like, but you would
I just
still recommend.
yeah, I was just slightly disappointed in it.
Okay.
But when I'm funny you mentioned the family thing, because Talking About Kitty talks about that, where because this I have a segment I made for this podcast.
Okay,
I like to call "What's That?" Stats and Facts.
sure.
I'm glad you guys received that well. Where I have some interesting factoids about the movie.
Okay.
One thing that I might have, I don't know if I mentioned, I don't know if it was during what we cut in or not. This is based off a book
Okay.
called Caging Skies. But I say based off in the aspect of it's loosely based off of it. Because the original book, Casting Skies, it's the main character Jojo and it's the same. But the book, halfway of the book is the movie where the war ends. That's half the book. There's still more after that. But the ending of Jojo Rabbit is that he lies to Elsa. They said the war is over and the Germans won, but he still helps her anywaes.
Oh,
and then
really?
she learns that like
Does he keep her in the closet?
in the book he
Oh.
lies and he keeps her there.
Oh.
And he's I didn't read it. I'm not
That's
going to read
dark.
it.
Yeah.
But I've read a lot of the reviews and a lot of them mention like Jojo's a worse character. Like and then like the people who've seen the movie they say they got all the good stuff from the book and put it into the movie.
Yeah.
All the good
Yeah.
Jojo stuff is in it. But Jojo is like he doesn't redeem himself. In this movie he redeems himself.
Yeah.
In the book I think he doesn't.
Oh.
Like he's still like super into Nazis and like everything that bad happens he blames on other people.
Oh.
Like, he blames Elsa for the things that happened, his mom and stuff like that. So like he's a worse kid
Mm-hmm.
in the book, and for like readers, it's like he's the main character. So you look through his eyes. So like a lot of people didn't like the book.
Oh.
People were like, oh, they were scared of the book. Like, oh, well, then we're gonna movie out of it. Like it's gonna be bad.
Yeah,
And
no,
then,
the
like,
book sounds kind of terrible.
it isn't. Yeah, I've heard. I didn't read it, so I can't be like, yeah, it is or not.
Yeah.
But like people who've seen the movie say, oh, the movie's like way better.
Yeah.
It definitely like adapts the best parts
Okay.
of the thing because it won best screenplay for Oscars because of like how adapted the book. Imagine they probably
Like, it's not a one
like,
for one
a
at
terrible book and they made it like in a great movie because
Yeah.
they still keep a lot of the elements to it.
Yeah.
But the reason why I talk about he did it is that his mom read the book and his mom told him the plot of the movie and he was like, that sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So he made the thing in 2011. He made the screenplay for it, but they got blacklisted for it. Not him, the film did.
Yeah.
Because it's about Nazis and they were like, no, it's not.
And
So
it
he was
took-
like, fuck.
So it took like 9 years.
So
for
it
to
took
get
them a
made.
couple of years, and finally Fox saw it, and they're like, you know, do you want to make it? Do you still want to make it? He's like, yes, I'm in. So that's why he was allowed to make it like way later. He wanted to make it 2011, but it came out in 2019.
Okay.
But he talks about this like it's kind of like a homage to parents, because he said the way like Charlotte Johansson's character, the mom, she's like a single mom. He's like, oh, he sees like his mom in her, because he's like, I never understood what a parent goes through, because now he has kids. He's like, now I get it, how much you have to sacrifice for your kid. And he's like, I want to make this movie to be like for the moms, for the single moms, for like the parents that do all that, like all this like sacrificing for their kids, and the kids just don't see it because how they understand. Because his mom is like super. She's a great mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way he talks back to her, she doesn't really do shit like that. Like she responds in a great way, which is like that shows how great of a mother she is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like his thing, where it's like he wanted to be like, this is like for parents, and his mom specifically, because she's the one who also introduced them to the film. But that was what's that? Facts
That was the stats.
facts and stats.
Stats
That was a
and stacks.
cool fact, actually.
That was I read that and I was like, oh, I shed a tear for Taika Waititi. Oh, one last fact. Sorry, why he played Hitler? Because they were like, why are you playing Hitler? Because he's a Jew. I
Yeah.
don't know if you knew. He's a Jew.
Okay.
He was like, what's the biggest fuck you to Hitler? A Jew playing him.
Ah,
So that's
okay.
why he wanted to play
Okay.
Adolf Hitler. Oh, and in the book, Hitler, there's no imagination of Hitler.
Oh, really?
The book is serious. It's not funny.
Oh,
Taika Waititi made it funny.
okay.
Originally, it wasn't going to be funny either, but then he was like, this is too like,
It's too weird.
yeah. So he made it funnier, and he
Okay.
added Hitler when he revised the script. But the original book is just a drama series. There's no like comedy.
Okay.
Like I think there's still satirical stuff about like Nazis, but it's not like there's no imaginary Hitler and shit like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Who knows if Yorkie's? Oh, imagine Yorkie's not in it.
Oh,
The best part.
The best
I mean, I
character.
wasn't planning on reading the book anyway, so.
Yeah, fuck the book. Fuck books. Who reads? But I would recommend.
Good.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Not the best. I don't even think it should have been nominated for Oscar. Honestly, I don't think it should have. I don't think it was good enough to be in like a nomination.
I think it was good. Usually the Oscar nominations include one or
so
two, like
to be
whatever.
fair though, like fuck the Oscars anyways.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter.
It's my favorite movie in my
Yeah, the
heart.
only
But yeah,
reason-
like if you like a movie, it doesn't matter if like.
The only reason people are
awards.
talking about the Oscars right now is because of, you know.
No, we're not talking about that. But
Let's go on and choose the next.
we're gonna choose our next movie. We're gonna spin the wheel. I think I had a name for it, didn't I? I don't even remember.
the wheel of options.
Probably
I don't know. Let's go.
the wheel of movies. We're gonna spin it for who's gonna be the next recipient.
Should I have volume?
If you want.
I mean, I do have the recording from last time, so.
I didn't use it.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't matter. All right.
So I'm out the list. So it's not between Sam and Alex. We're gonna spin that wheel.
Do it.
Luckily, it's gonna be faster.
And it's
Alex.
Alex.
Yeah. Alex.
Nice.
We get to choose one of my movies now.
Good
Alex,
shit.
terrible movies. Nah, I'm, just
Hey,
kidding.
hey,
I'm
hey.
joking. We all have great individual movies. So now we're
go.
spinning
Some-
Alex's movie list.
Some movies are better than
I really
others.
don't remember any of his movies anymore.
And
we got Blade Runner.
Blade Runner 2049.
2049.
Nice.
Blade Runner 2049.
Good shit.
No, ironically enough, I seen that movie,
Yeah, I haven't.
and you guys haven't.
No.
Which is ironic because my movie Alex watched
Yeah.
before, and I haven't. So now I watched the one you picked.
yeah, I'm excited.
And I think for this one, we won't talk about it as much, but I'll talk about Blade Runner, original Blade Runner, as well to give some context. to it.
Give me. I haven't seen this, so I expect you to give me a recap.
Yeah, I'll talk about. We'll talk about original Blade Runner. By we, I mean me probably, but not as much. It's mostly gonna be about 2049.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But get ready for the next movie, Blade Runner 2049, and we'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Now available to own on DVD and video.